Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Acharya Stuta Sadis Devre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Nitya Leela Pravishta Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 2 चैप्टर 7 टेक्स्ट 24 and 25। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। यस्मा अदात् उददीर् उदभायाङ्गवेपो मार्गं सपादि हरिपुरं हरवद्दिदिक्षो। दूरे सूरेन्मथितरोष शुशोन दृष्ट्या तातप्यमानमकरोरगनक्रचक्रः। यस्मा अदात् उददीर् ऊर्ध्वभयाङ्गवेपो मार्गं सपादि हरिपुरं हरवद्दिदक्षो। दूरे सूरेन्मथितरोष शुशोषण दृष्ट्या आतप्यमानमकरोरगनक्रचक्रः। Please recite.
यस्मा अदादु दधिरूढभयाङ्गवेपो यस्मा अदादु दधिरूढभयाङ्गवेपो मार्गं सपद्यरिपुरं हरवद्दिदक्षो। मार्गं सपद्यरिपुरं हरवद्दिदक्षो। दूरे सुहृन्मथितरोष सुशोण दृष्ट्या दूरे सुहृन्मथितरोष सुशोण दृष्ट्या यमानमकरोरगनक्रचक्रः। यस्माददात् उदधिर् ऊर्ध्वभाग्याङ्गवेपो यस्माददात् ऊर्ध्वभाग्याङ्गवेपो मार्गं सपद्यरिपुरं हरिवद्दिदक्षो। मार्गं सपद्यरिपुरं हरिवद्दिदक्षो। दूरे दूरे सुषिन्महितरोषसुसोनदृष्ट्या आतप्यमानमकरोरगणकृतचित्रा
Mataएं, mothers,
हरिपुरं वरदरिदर्शो दूरे सुषिन्महितरोषसुसोनदृष्ट्या आतप्यमानमकरोरगणकृतचित्रा.
translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead Ramchandra, being aggrieved for his distant intimate friend Sita, glanced over the city of the enemy Ravana with red-hot eyes like those of Hara, who wanted to burn the kingdom of heaven. The great ocean, trembling in fear, gave him his way because its family members, the aquatics like the sharks, snakes, and crocodiles, were being burnt by the heat of the angry red-hot eyes of the Lord. The personality of Godhead has every sentiment of a sentient being, like all other living beings, because He is the chief and original living entity, the supreme source of all other living beings. He is the Nitya or the chief eternal amongst all other eternals. He is the chief one and all others are the dependent many. The many eternals are supported by the one eternal, and thus both the eternals are qualitatively one. Due to such oneness, both the eternals constitutionally have a complete range of sentiments, but the difference is that the sentiments of the chief eternal are different in quantity from the sentiments of the dependent eternals. When Ramchandra was angry and showed his red hot eyes, the whole ocean became heated with that energy, so much so that the aquatics within the great ocean felt the heat, and the personified ocean trembled in fear and offered the Lord an easy path for reaching the enemy's city. The impersonalists will see havoc in this red hot sentiment of the Lord because they want to see negation in perfection. Because the Lord is absolute, the impersonalists imagine that in the absolute, the sentiment of anger, which resembles mundane sentiments, must be conspicuous by absence. Due to a poor fund of knowledge, they do not realize that the sentiment of the absolute person is transcendental to all mundane concepts of quality and quantity. Had Lord Ramchandra's sentiment been of mundane origin, how could it disturb the whole ocean and its inhabitants? Can any mundane red hot eye generate heat in the great ocean? These are factors to be distinguished in terms of the personal and impersonal conceptions of the absolute truth. As it is said in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is the source of everything. So the absolute person cannot be devoid of the sentiments that are reflected in the temporary mundane world. Rather, the different sentiments found in the absolute, either in anger or in mercy, have the same qualitative influence, or in other words, there is no mundane difference of value between because these sentiments are all on the absolute plane. Such sentiments are definitely not absent in the absolute, as the impersonalists think, making their mundane estimation of the transcendental world. 25. Vakshasthal sparsha rugna mahendra va dantair vidambita Kakubjusa Udahasa Sadhyo Subi Saha Vineshyati Darhatur Vispurjitair Dhanusha Ucharato Tishnainie. When Ravana was engaged in the battle, the trunk of the elephant which carried the king of heaven Indra broke in pieces, having collided with the chest of Ravana, and the scattered broken parts illuminated all directions. Ravana therefore felt proud of his prowess and began to loiter in the midst of the fighting soldiers, thinking himself the conqueror of all directions. But his laughter, overtaken by joy, along with his very air of life, suddenly ceased with the tingling sound of the bow of Ramchandra, the personality of Godhead. However powerful a living being may be, when he is condemned by God, no one can save him. And similarly, however weak one may be, if he is protected by the Lord, no one can annihilate him. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshura Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. So this is Lord Rama, Lord Ramchandra, and in this sloka it is being explained that he was showing his power. Like we sing every morning that, the Lord can do any function with any of his senses, Sakalendriya. So he can eat with the eyes, When we get angry, even our eyes become red, but we feel more heat rather than. But here, you see Krishna, even in the battle of Kurukshetra, he doesn't lose his smile. He never gets tension, he doesn't get stressed out, he's always smiling, So, yeah, Ramchandra is cool, but because he is having affection for Sita, with the anger that the ocean is coming in the way, the whole ocean got heated up. So first of all, we can see here the Achintya Shakti of the Lord. No mundane personality can heat up the whole ocean like that. So that the aquatics were complaining, and then the Varuna, the personified ocean, he came and offered prayers and says, I'm giving you an easy path. Build the bridge and then reach there, don't worry. So, anger, love, we see Krishna, he gets angry with Mother Yashoda and he breaks the butter pots. So the impulse Prabhupada is saying, because they have an impersonal conception of God, they cannot understand that how God can have this kind of anger and all, how can he be, and how can the Lord steal, Krishna is known as Makhan Chor, but his stealing is transcendental. He's stealing his own stuff. That's not stealing in one sense. Why? Because everything comes from the Lord. The Bhagavatam starts with that the Lord, the Supreme Personality, Krishna, is the source of all the Shaktis. Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Shriyate. All the energies are coming from him. Even this material elements, Dharti, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, earth, water, air, fire, ether, sky, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. Even the Vibhinamsha are his expansions. Eko Bahusha. Krishna, in order to enjoy, he expands himself into different entities, avatars, Swamsha, Vibhinamsha, Amsha, like that. Shakti, Shaktiman. There's no difference. But the difference is that we, the fragmental soul, have these sentiments in a very minute quantity. And in this material world, in our conditioned stage, they are all perverted. They are perverted. Because they are reflections of the transcendental sentiments. So as we get purified, then we become qualified to exchange all these emotions with Krishna. And that gives Krishna pleasure because he is Rasika Shekhar. He's the enjoyer of all the rasa, emotions. The loving emotions between a servant and the master, the loving emotions between friends, the loving emotions between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, And like Mother Yashoda is showing the stick and is frightened, So that's why we get frightened. If Krishna would not have got this sentiment, how would it come in us? Only thing is we get frightened for something we should not be frightened for. Because we are not the body, One devotee was telling me that when I get chastised, then I feel very disturbed. I said, when you get chastised, you think that you are not the body, you are not getting chastised, the soul is not getting chastised, the body is getting chastised, and you will feel relaxed. So we don't have to stop this love or emotions, but we have to purify them and elevate them on the transcendental platform. So Krishna has everything, anger, everything he has. Love, everything he has. Lust. Like in Bhagavatam it's mentioned that gopis, they were lusty after Krishna. But their lust was not what we think. It was not mundane lust. Mundane lust is for gratifying one's own senses. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains, Atmendriya Priti Vancha. Tare bale kam. Krishnendriya Priti Ichha Dware Prem Nam. To gratify one's own senses, that is lust. But to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is love. So when they said that the gopis were lusty after Krishna, they were not craving for self-satisfaction. They wanted to satisfy Krishna. So their lust is love, you know. So in the material world, all these emotions are perverted reflections of the transcendental emotions in the Lord. And our business is to get out of this illusory world and have real exchanges with the transcendental Lord. You know, you don't have to kill emotions, you have to purify the emotions. Like Prabhupada says, you cannot become desireless. It's not possible for the living entity to become desireless. But we have to purify our desires for the pleasure of Krishna. You know, we have to bring Krishna, keep Krishna, or Lord Ram, in the center. In the center. Right? Like while we were just coming here, we saw a big queue of people. So they are worshipping Lord Shiva. So generally they worship Shiva for fulfilling their material desires. But Raghunath Das Goswami, he explains in Rajvilas Stava, I daily worship Gopeshwar Mahadev. But he's worshipping Gopeshwar Mahadev to get Krishna, not for personal, right? Similarly, the gopis worshipped Lord Gopeshwar Mahadev to get the favor of Krishna. All the devtas, the demigods, they are servants of God. And without the sanction of God, they cannot fulfill your desire. Right? Still, because people are conditioned and they have so many material desires, Krishna has made a system that gradually they elevate themselves. But because of the three modes of nature, there's a lot of perversion in the philosophy, right? And then people don't know how the demigods should be worshipped. The real way to worship the demigods is first offer everything to Lord Krishna and then offer to the demigods, because they only take prasad. Just like devotees take only prasad, they only take prasad. Right? That is the right system, but it has gone because of confusion. Like sometimes other religions, they also think that in Hinduism there are so many gods. They don't understand that God, there are many demigods. And some people have difficulty digesting that my God is demigod. Like, so many things go on in the material world. So it's difficult it's also difficult for some people to accept that that Lord Ram Chandra is also an expansion of Krishna. Some argue that Ram came first, Krishna came, like that. So that's why you have to follow Shastra. But you cannot follow Shastra on your own. How will you understand this subject matter? So you have to understand Shastra from a pure devotee, right? Pure devotee, who is free from the four defects. You know, all of our senses are limited. You know, we cannot see. If this finger goes to, at this point, I cannot see my finger. It comes here, I start seeing. If it goes too far, I cannot see. So each of our senses is limited. But we see here Lord Ramchandra's senses is not limited. Just by the anger of his eyes, the whole ocean started boiling. Right? We, all our senses are limited. We are subject to illusion, right? In the dead of the night, we see some rope on the floor, or we see some white cloth flying. Bhoot aa gaya, bhoot aa gaya. Right? So illusion. We sit in the station on one platform, and we are a little bit sleepy. And on the next platform, the train starts moving, and we think our train is moving. Afterwards, we look, oh, that train is moving, my train is not moving. So we see, we get illusion, right? To err is human. That has become a famous quote. Everyone makes mistakes. And the other propensity is cheating. Like we see Guru Maharaj, he will do like this. So he's looking at someone and he's doing, and then that guy was sleeping. He wakes up and he says, that's cheating. Instead of doing like this, he said like this, I was not sleeping. So we see this, this propensity is there. Where it came from? Came from Krishna. Krishna is eating the Raj, and then Mother Yashoda is saying, you ate? He's saying, no, I didn't eat. They say, open the mouth, he's showing the universe. He's lying, right? He ate, he's lying. But if you lie, if you cheat, then somebody will hit you with the shoes or put you behind the bars, right? But Krishna cheats. Krishna tells lie and is loved more by saintly persons, by the highest demigods. They worship him as Makancho. So his emotions, his sentiments, his qualities, they are all transcendental. So many people criticize Krishna that he danced with the wives of others in the dead of night, But Parakiya Bhav is the highest method of worshipping Krishna, But who can understand Parakiya Bhav? One who is free from mundane sex life. One who is not free from mundane cannot understand Ras Leela and the gopis' dealings with Krishna, because his mind is so much, his subconscious is so contaminated. The moment he sees Laila Majnu, then he's already seeing movies. His mind is already showing him projections of what two persons they do from what he is accustomed to do in his conditioned life. But that is not what they do. So this becomes achintya. For some for conditioned soul, it's difficult to understand that how can Krishna dance with so many gopis and Radharani and have so much intimacy, and yet he's the biggest brahmachari. He's the biggest brahmachari. Bhismadev says he's a better brahmachari than me. And Bhismadev was Raghukul Riti Pran Jai Vachanna Jai. He sacrificed everything, but he never broke his vow. Right? And he's endorsing that he is the purest. So we have to learn about the Lord from Mahajan. Mahajano Yenagatha Sapantha. We cannot speculate about God, you know. So that's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Bhakti Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Leela Tattva, Prema Tattva. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Tattvataha, Tattvataha, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. You know, so you have to understand, you cannot speculate about Krishna's Leela from your point of view. You have to understand Krishna's Leela from his point of view, from the transcendental level, right? So that's why we first chant the holy name, and then as we become offenseless and pure and our chanting becomes pure, then we, with the name, we can see the form of the Lord, Nam and Roop. Then we advance further, then Nam, Roop and Gun. We can see the qualities of the Lord while we are chanting. One after one, we will be remembering Krishna's qualities automatically. And then when you come to the Asakti level, then when you're chanting Hare Krishna, it's just like having a remote, you know, and going on. So you're chanting Hare Krishna, Giriraj Leela starts. So on your screen, on the screen of your mind, now you're seeing Giriraj Leela while chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yamuna Leela is chanting. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Like that. So that happens just by chanting. It happens. You are not even have to press the remote. It happens by Krishna's mercy. You know? So you see one Leela after another Leela. You don't need a TV. You don't need this mobile internet. You know, and that gives you so much bliss. You know, everything is there in the holy name. So we just have to learn to chant purely. Then everything we will be able to understand. The holy name is the key to understand the scriptures. If someone is not chanting and is a big scholar, he cannot understand Bhagavatam. There are a lot of people who are doing thesis on Bhagavatam. But Tattvata you cannot understand. Why? Because Krishna says, Bhaktya Mama Bijanati. Only my devotee can know me. And devotion starts in this age by chanting the holy name. Right? So definitely it's a challenge for someone who is not at least to a certain degree surrendering to devotees and having faith in devotees. For him to understand these transcendental literatures is virtually a big challenge. It's mind-boggling. You know, like when I think Neil Armstrong and them, they went on the moon on the Apollo mission. And Prabhupada was preaching in America. So Prabhupada had one new disciple, Purushottam. So when this came in the news, in the media, you know, so he brought the TV in front of Prabhupada to prove that actually they went on the moon. Right? But Prabhupada, he knew that this was and afterwards we see so many things have come out about that. That was a sort of cooked up, covered up, so many things were there, right? Books have come out on that. So Then there was some cooking going on. I think maybe Purushottam was cooking or something. And in the kitchen, there was sort of small explosion. Boom! And Prabhupada said, Purushottam has gone to the moon. He got disturbed and he left. You know? So it's challenging for, so many concepts are there in the Bhagavatam which are like completely diametrically opposite to what we have learned. Unless someone has some faith in, the devotees, it's challenging to understand this kind of things. In 25th sloka, we see that Ravana, who had a lot of Shakti, because he's coming from the Vaikuntha gatekeepers, Jai Vijay, right? So Vaikuntha people are as opulent as the Lord, right? So he had so much strength, but now he's acting like a demon here. So when the Indra was charging him with the elephant, and the trunk of the elephant hit the chest of Ravana, the trunk split into pieces, and he was he was just going amongst all the soldiers and thinking, oh, how great he is. Dekho mera 56 inch ka chhati. He was, and then Lord Ram fired the arrow and so Rakshasiti Viswaso. If God wants to protect you, nobody can touch you. And if God wants to kill you, nobody can save you. Right? So we understand that from that. So devotees have to have faith that the Lord will protect them. Name bhakta pranashyati. Even if your body is destroyed, Krishna will protect you. There was some incident, I think it was in Bangladesh, that some pujari was killed by this rioting between Hindu and Muslim, something like that. So some devotee asked the question to Shivram Maharaj that, he was a religious demigod worshipper, then, he got killed in such a way. So what will happen to him? So Maharaj said, we cannot understand Krishna's plan. So maybe that devotee, he was serving the Lord and protecting the temple and he was killed. So the Lord will take his soul to the demigods, to heavenly planets. And in heavenly planets, he will get the association of Naradji. And then in next life, he will go back home, back to Godhead. We don't understand. So Krishna protects the devotees. Even if he's dying in accident or something, Krishna makes plan for his soul. Sometimes we think he did so much bhakti and Krishna killed him. Krishna didn't protect him. Krishna is protecting him. Krishna is not protecting the clothes which are already going to go one day. So we have to have that faith in Krishna that no matter what, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. He told Arjuna to declare for all time. So that is the meaning of Sharanagati. One limb of Sharanagati. Rakshyasiti Vishwaso. We should have faith and confidence that Krishna will protect us. And devotee means he must be submissive to Krishna's plan and not be attached to his own plan. That is the meaning of surrender, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Arjuna's plan was, I don't want to fight. But Krishna's plan was, I want you to fight. Right? So sometimes we want to do something, but Krishna doesn't want us to do that, and he wants us to do something else. So one quality of a disciple is that he's malleable. Like this putti, children make dolls and all that. You can make as you want, like, so if you have ego, then you are stiff, you cannot bend, you break. The relationship breaks between even guru and disciple. But if you are flexible and malleable, then that is a training by guru. Sometimes devotees say, Guru doesn't understand me. The real problem is you don't understand what is Guru. Right? So it's a question of surrender. When you don't surrender, then you are in a dilemma, Duality. That is Rajasic understanding. But we should have sattvic understanding where there is clarity. We know what should be done and what should not be done. So, surrender. This is one surrender, that Krishna will protect me. Krishna will maintain me. If I am having a 1 crore package, one job giving me 1 crore per year, but if Guru is telling me to do a 50 lakh job and do more seva in the temple, you should have faith that there is no loss. If you do that sacrifice, then Krishna will fulfill whatever the lacking has come because of that sacrifice in the job. We see during Krishna Leela, Krishna is going to the fruit vendor, and it was barter system at that time. So Mother Yashoda gave some grains, but because he's holding like this, so all the grains leak out. So when he actually went, there's nothing in the hand. But seeing lovely Krishna, that fruit vendor filled his hands, whole hand, as much as he could hold up with fruits. And then Krishna, he also filled the basket with jewels, right? So if you give Krishna, there's no loss. So it's a question of understanding, knowledge, and faith. That's why we have to hear Shastra from great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. So all emotions are good, but in the beginning we dovetail to Krishna and then purify, and then we can exchange all these emotions with Krishna one day. How merciful Krishna is. He's ready to take us back. He never left us. We said there is no God, there is no form of God, God is dead, I hate God. But still he remained with the soul all the time in our heart. And he's still fulfilling our so many material desires. So who can be a better friend than Krishna? Lord Ram. So Shastra Praman. So faith, Jiva Goswami says, faith means faith in scripture. Shastriya Shraddha, not Laukik Shraddha. Laukik Shraddha means my father taught me something, but his faith was not Shastriya. So then I carry that. Or that was not Shastric, but a mixed sort of thing. Some speculation, something, Belpuri, from our society, from our village, from our local temple. We picked up all this faith, but it is not pure Shastric faith. Because in Shastra also there's so much my commentary. If you go to Gita Bhavan, there are more than 3,000 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. So in Krishna Leela, it is explained that Nand Baba has 9 lakh cows. So some commentator is saying here one cow named Naulakhi. This is the kind of. So if you don't hear from the right person, so that's why Sanatana Goswami says that if you hear katha from someone who is not pure or following the pure line, then it's like drinking milk which has been touched by a serpent. Okay. So for impersonalists, Mayavadis, it's very difficult to understand this pastime, that how Lord Ramchandra with his eyes has started boiling the whole ocean. I cannot even boil a cup of tea with my eyes. How can he boil the whole ocean? God must be so big, so big, so big. Dr. Frog philosophy, you know. So they cannot conceive. Only one thing they want to conceive is if I could dance with 16,000. But he cannot. It's difficult to maintain 16. What to talk of 16,000? Right? Even that they cannot do. So we have to understand the achintya shakti of the Lord. You know, achintya means which is not conceivable to your mind. So scriptural knowledge, you see, material knowledge is like ascending process. You grasp it by yourself. You do some MBA course and you'll become specialist in marketing or whatever like that, right? But spiritual knowledge is a descending process. You can read, but you can only realize by the mercy of the Lord or his pure devotee. You cannot grasp it. And whom does Krishna reveal this knowledge? Bhaktya. Bhaktya. You have to become a devotee. And how do you become a devotee? He he explains twice in the Bhagavad Gita. Man bana, always think of me. Mad bhakta, become my devotee. How do you become a devotee? You practice bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga. Like Srila Prabhupada said, morning program. Come for Mangala Aarti, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, chanting, like that. Morning program. All morning program is like multivitamin. Association of devotee, vitamin A, B, Bhagavatam, C, chanting, like that. And then Madhyaji, worship, and Pranam, Namaskar, Dandvat Pranam, pay obeisances to the Lord, like that. Just by these 4 things, you become a devotee. And so many devotees Venu Madhav Prabhu is making here. Prabhupada is using all of us as instruments. Then Krishna will reveal. How much he will reveal you? Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. As much as you surrender, he will reveal. You surrender fully, he will reveal everything. So everything the Lord has given. This book is not a mundane book. You just by thesis you cannot understand Bhagavatam. But by trying to become a devotee, you start understanding. And then you improve. You understand more. So realization is actually revelation. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, the knowledge is revealed. Just like the Lord revealed to Brahmaji in the heart. Right? So this knowledge has to be accessed by the descending process, not by the ascending process. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Just only one statement. The needs and devotions ruling the man. Just only one statement. I want to go. So the needs and devotions ruling the mankind.
Yes.
In this Bhadram Pushpam Phalam Phalam, so it says that out of love you need to offer to the Lord. And then next sloka comes Ekarosha Adventure. That is out of duty. Now in this case, bhakti comes first or priti comes first. When we offer, somebody only devotee can offer out of love. Or somebody is trying to do out of love, so he gets the bhakti. Which comes.
So first is by duty. Generally one starts with mixed bhakti. Pious people come to God because they are sick. Either they are sick or they need, the market has gone down, so he wants to keep safe his investment, he wants money, or he's inquisitive, just wants to know what's going on, or he knows that there's a system, there's God, like that, Gyani. So 4 type of people they come, but they are not devotees, pure devotees. But by associating with pure devotees and being submissive to the devotees will engage them. So in the beginning, they will be engaged in whatever way, mechanical way. They may just, he's like you will see, I'll tell you about mine. When I started going, we used to go to Bhaktivedanta Manor in London just for picnic actually. We used to, whole family used to go with all coconuts and samosas and everything. We used to have a nice picnic and take some Mahaprasad, do some darshan. So when all the devotees are paying obeisances like that, then I would do. Because they are doing, you have to do something. So that was not out of love or knowledge or anything, but that's something. Then Krishna, he says, okay, so much, okay, little more. So Krishna will do that. No, I'll show you the right way. So in the beginning, it's not there. But by doing, like Prabhupada gives this example, that when there is an arranged marriage, forget the love marriage. In an arranged marriage, there's no love. But by serving, the love is developed between both of them, right? By serving. So, same way, by serving the Lord, knowingly, unknowingly. Even if somebody is doing unknowingly, is getting agyata sukruti. And by that agyata sukruti is getting faith in the devotee. And then by associating with the devotee, he starts doing things properly. So it's like first is kg. Yes, please offer the flower. Okay, offer flower. Okay. There's no priti, but at least he's doing. He's Sukrutivan. He knows that God is superpower. Like in Brahma Vaivat Puran, it is mentioned that when a soul gets the human body, first he worships is the sun god because he can see something practical, very powerful energy, this and that. Then he worships Ganesh, Durga, then Lord Shiva, and when he becomes Nishkam in Lord Shiva, I also worship Shiva at one time, but I had heard Ramayana, Ramayana cassettes. So in that, I like the role of Kaivat, the boatman. He didn't want any fees. So I don't want to do worship with, I don't want to something in return. I don't want to like that. So I like that part. So they were telling me you worship Lord Shiva, and so I was doing one mala also, only Sunday, every Sunday, one mala, Om Namo Shiva, Om Namo Shiva. I said, I don't want anything. I'm just doing like this as a duty. Then I came to, we went for picnic and like that. We came into like that. So it starts off like that. Yen ken prakarena. Anyhow, somebody comes, then gradually you will follow the process. Vidhi. Even a devotee, he follows so many things, but then he has to upgrade to a higher process.
As you said that in this material world, all emotions are power impressions, and we need to purify them. How do we purify? What is the process?
By dovetailing them with Krishna. And by learning, becoming a devotee, learning the philosophy, by chanting, by reading Gita, Bhagavatam, that is the process. Then it will become, for example, you love your parents, they did so much for you. So just say somebody loves his parents so much. But that love is perverted. How is it perverted? Because you don't know who your parents are. You are identifying your parents with the body, but they are not the body, they are soul. Right? But when you become a devotee, now you love their soul and you want them to elevate their soul as well as care for the body. This is how you have purified your emotion of love from a perverted state to a gradually higher transcendental state. It's like anger. So you can only, first you have to learn to control anger. Because if you cannot control anger, then you cannot use anger properly. You will short circuit. So now, before you were using anger for your satisfaction and for your controllership. Now you use anger for Krishna's satisfaction or devotees' protection and satisfaction. So you have purified your anger. Like Hanuman, he with his anger, he burned Lanka, but he's worshipped. This is how you purify your emotions. And you have to learn this under the guidance of a devotee. And it takes time. It takes time because we are heavily conditioned from time immemorial. But it is definitely possible because in the human life we can come to our full potential. And there is no loss. Even if you complete half syllabus, you will start from where you left off in the next life from here, and Krishna will give you a better chance than now because you already completed half syllabus. Your material situation will be much more favorable so that in that next life you can complete the whole syllabus. So that's how Krishna protects the devotee. How the purification works. Yeah, there is. Mantra. Prayate. That which frees the mind, that which liberates the mind is called mantra. Mantra. Om Anavriti Shabdat. If in a car with petrol, if in the tank you put petrol, it will run, right? But if you put like sugar, the engine will cease, right? So the material creation came with material sound. Similarly, the spiritual creation comes with spiritual sound. So it's the quality of the sound. So as you put spiritual sound, the material sound, the engine ceases. As you hear Hare Krishna, spiritual sound, your material life starts power block. You have no interest. Vishay Vasna Kobe Tucho Hobe. Like that, it starts. Provided that sound is potent. Potent means offenseless. Offenseless. All this is very detailed explained in Shastra. Material is also by sound. You hear, you just chant, or somebody tells you, America is so nice, America is so nice, Bangalore is so nice, Bangalore. You'll come to Bangalore. America so nice, America so nice, you'll go. Rukmini, Naradji, he just described Krishna. And just by hearing, she decided, I just want to marry him. Just by hearing from Naradji. And we see this happens in the material world also. Somebody, you hear about someone and you fall in love. Right? Material sound and spiritual sound. Now if you are doing both, then you are in that situation. Yes, bro.
Muslim invaders looted in Hindu temples and they destroyed holy scriptures and they killed Hindus. Right? So they couldn't eradicate Hinduism. So how it comes to existence
You see, ultimately, without sanction of the Lord, nothing happens. But some people desire to destroy one religion, this goes on. But then Krishna's desire is also there. You know, like for example, in the beginning, the Vedic Brahmanas, they misused sacrifice for animal killing, for animal eating. So then the Lord made a plan. He sent Lord Buddha. And he said, just push aside the Vedas. The main thing is ahimsa, parodharma. But the Lord knows that my real task is to bring them back to me. You know, it's like you have a jail full of prisoners, but you have to reform them. So the government is using different strategies to reform them, but they are very egoistic and attached to their ways. So Krishna, he molds them different way. Afterwards, he sent Sankaracharya. So he said, actually, no, Vedas are necessary, and by Vedas, you become God. Oh, I become God. Then, okay, welcome to Vedas. And then he brought Ramanuj, Acharya, Madhvacharya to the. Actually, there is two. You are not a big God, you are small God. Then Mahaprabhu said, you are not God, you are Das. You are servant of God. So, if somebody is very egoistic, then how to mold him? You know? So Lord uses this like this, and these things will go on in the material world. My religion is better than your religion. But ultimately, everyone has to align to the Lord's thing. So ultimately, the Sanatan Dharma cannot be destroyed because it is protected by the Lord Himself. In the meantime, you want, see, in material aspiration, the first aspiration is to be rich. My Kabambani Banunga. Elon Musk. After he has become rich, he wants to become famous. He wants to become actor. Yeah. After he has become actor, he's got money, he's got fame. But what is missing? Power. So he wants to become a politician. So you see, actors are becoming what? You're seeing it or not? After he's become politician, he's seeing that something is missing. So he wants to become guru. He wants to become guru. After he's become guru, only one thing is left. Avatar. After that, Maya kicks him and says, you are rubbish, dog. This is how it's going, you know. The ego. So you can do so many things, but if you hold on to the ego, you don't go anywhere. You have to let go of the ego. And that's the fastest way. Prabhupada was having this pharmacy shop, and that time some sadhu went to Prabhupada and he said, is there a quick way, to get love of Godhead? Have you got some like medicine formula, pharmaceutical formula that you take one pill and boom, you get love of God or something like that? Prabhupada said, yeah, I have the formula. Okay, tell me. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi saisnuna, amanina manadena, kirtanya sadari. This is the fastest way. If you can chant with this attitude, this mindset, zoom, love of God. But because the ego is there, it won't let go. That's why the struggle is there. But it will work, the sound. If you put the sound, the spiritual sound, eventually it will dissolve. That's what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, that by the chanting, by the sadhana, both the subtle and gross body will be dissolved and your spiritual body will manifest. So you have to have potent sound by the training association of the pure devotees, and intense tivrena, bhakti yogena tivrena. Like Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj ego got hurt, because the stepmother says, you can't sit on the lap of your father until you take birth from my womb. That was a challenge. He was a Kshatriya balak, 5-year-old, only 5-year-old. He went crying to the mom. The mom said, your father doesn't listen to me because I am Suniti, but he is having ruchi. And he's having too much ruchi in Suruchi. He's not listening to me. I can't do anything. You go and find God. So he said, where I find God? He said, all the saints go to the jungle. So Dhruv Maharaj, because he was Kshatriya, daring guy, he went in the jungle. And a lot of guys told him, hey, Baba, you are bacha, go back home. The lion will eat you. He said, no, you tell me where God is. He was serious. So the Paramatma in the heart gave an SMS to Naradji, and Naradji came. And Naradji said, what do you want? I want God. You go back home because you're too young, you're too child. He said, no, if you can't show me God, you go back home. I'm not going back home. Yeah, Dridhavrata. This is a determined candidate. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is some diet. This is your diet. This is your worship. He gave him, and he went. So Dhruv Maharaj in Madhuban, Vrindavan, 6 months. Last month is Kartik. And he did such intense sadhana that the Lord appeared before him. But what was his purpose? To get a kingdom greater than his forefathers. He wanted Dhruv Lok. But when he saw the Lord so beautiful, he said, I was asking for piece of glass. You are a diamond. I don't want this. But the Lord said, first you wrote on your menu, you want this. That masala dosa is ready for you. Take the Dhruv Lok. After that, you come to Vaikuntha. You get both. So that's why devotees have to be careful. Once they have become smart, they must do an MOU with the Lord. That sometimes I may get disturbed or frustrated. I ask some material, but don't give me, only give me the real thing. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.